Welcome back, boys and girls, all ages. It's Trippy Cake's top 10 combat characters. And I'm going to disclose some of these characters are paywall, but they are worth every penny if you do decide to fork over the dough for them. Now, starting with number 1, maybe 10, I don't know, however you want to look at it, is Apocalypse. I already did a review video on him. I don't want to touch too much bases because he is a pain in the ass to get, but once you do have him, the guy is an absolute monster, and he is going to rock out with his cock out and fist all of your enemies to death, non-sexually, of course. Next up was Wolverine. You have to do the epic quest to unlock him, and his uniform I'm not too fond of, but you know, that boost for the damage is pretty much the only reason I even got it. But Wolverine is naturally, of course, I haven't decided which one is stronger. I'm gonna have to finish up Apocalypse. I'm at the last stretch of that, but right now they're pretty neck and neck for me personally. Next, I wanted to give a little bit of homage to Beast. His uniform is not necessary, but I got it because it increased his passive, or his leadership. That's what it increased. And even outside of that, if you don't count people like Wolverine and Apocalypse, he is a very versatile combat character. He's got a decent moveset. He's got a self buff. He's actually, I enjoy him. He's very fun to use, very different. I like Beast, and I think he is a great combat character. Next character that I'm going to get into, people might not necessarily agree with me, but Luke Cage at tier 2. He is very monstrous, and when I say monstrous, I don't mean in the term of his outgoing damage that he does himself and his skills. What I'm talking about is his physical reflect shield. He's perfect to set up in like Alliance Conquest versus a full physical team like Wolverine, Silk, and Spider-Man or something like that, because he reflects so much physical damage back. You can kind of think of him as the physical destroyer. The guy is really great in terms of PvP. Other than that, he's not going to get you any world boss kills or anything. Next is Iron Fist. Of course, you have to have that Marvel uniform, or not Marvel, that Netflix uniform. His overall damage, when built correctly, is phenomenal. He's got extremely high survivability. Mine actually, he was the last character standing on my second team in Alliance Conquest, and he took out 6 by himself because he keeps getting, you know, the healing proc and then the shield proc and then his iframes. Really great character. Another paywall is going to be Agent Venom. Now, Agent Venom held the #1 combat spot. He held that for a very short while until Wolverine came out. But the reason I think that Agent Venom made this list is because he does high amounts of damage, has really good iframes, excellent recovery, excellent survivability, but he doesn't pump out the damage like Wolverine and Apocalypse do. Next is I'm calling him the former king of Combat Villain Extreme Alliance Battle because I beat him with my level 55 Apocalypse or whatever. But he is still a great character nonetheless. Carnage has just always been well-rounded, and I think with a uniform, he might be able to take that top spot back depending on how it changed him. Still great. Next up is Red Hulk. Red Hulk's uniform is definitely a requirement. Definitely more of a PvP character or you know, a Shadowland character, because everybody is viable in Shadowland, so I don't typically like to use that as a you know, as a selling point for him. But he's got extremely high survivability, high health, and very, very decent damage. Next, I never thought I'd say this, but Venom, well, anti-Venom, if you want to get super technical, but this guy's damage is actually ludicrous in comparison to what it used to be before. He is a free character essentially. You don't have to pay to get him, and he'll do the job. You know, still pretty good damage. Next is Amadeus Cho. Out of all the Hulks, I gotta say that he might be one of my favorites. It's not because he's particularly a lot stronger than them. I mean, Red Hulk can easily get stronger than Amadeus if you put the effort and time into him, but that doesn't, you know, knock Amadeus out. Amadeus' skill set is actually really great. He's got a self buff, and overall, I just think he's a really good combat character. And I think that's fair to say that he's a top contender because a lot of combat characters aren't that great. Anyway, this has been my take on who the best combat characters are. It may not work for you, but this is what works for me in terms of combat characters. They're pretty much the only ones I use. Outside of these 10, I don't see anything other than a collecting aspect for these other characters in combat. But this has been Trippy Cakes. This is my top 10 combat. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If you have any other contenders that you think should be replaced with ones that I listed, feel free to let me know. I'll check them out, and you know what? You might even change my list up. But anyway, this has been Trippy Cakes, and please do like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends about it, tell your alliance members. You're just getting people into the game, tell them about it. Anyways, I'm out. Y'all have a good one.